You know, it's the age-old question every single Indian family has to face at some point. Should you buy a plot of land, or is a flat the way to go? It's this classic tug-of-war between tradition and today's reality. Well, today, we're going to settle that debate using a bit of history and some hard data. So let's get right into it.
I mean, come on. We've all heard this, right? It's the first thing your parents, your uncles, pretty much every elder in the family will tell you. For decades, this was gospel. It was the golden rule of real estate. But today, we're going to dig into why this was such a rock-solid belief. And, more importantly, we're going to ask, does that logic still hold up?
All right, so to really get a grip on the market today, we've got to jump in a time machine and go back. The advice our parents gave us wasn't just some random gut feeling. Nope, it was based on the cold, hard economic reality of their time. Let's take a look at what their world was actually like.
So picture India right after independence. You've got cities like Delhi just exploding, creating new colonies out of what was basically empty land. Back then, land was the easy part. Seriously, it was everywhere and it was pretty cheap. The real challenge, the thing that cost a fortune, wasn't buying the plot. It was actually building the house.
And this just nails how completely upside down things were back then. Imagine buying a plot in a town like Rothok in 1948. Getting the land? Totally doable. But building just a simple two-room house on it? That would set you back 4 times the price of the land itself. The construction was the real financial monster.
See, a plot wasn't just a piece of dirt. It was like a living, breathing asset for the family. As the joint family got bigger, you just add another room. When a son got married, boom, you could build another floor. You built it piece by piece, as your family grew and as you got the money. This amazing flexibility made buying a plot the most logical, perfect investment you could make. For decades, plot prices didn't just go up, they went to the moon. It really felt like some kind of magic, but it wasn't. There was a secret, incredibly powerful engine humming away under the surface that was driving this insane growth, a concept most people have never even heard of, but it changed absolutely everything.
And here it is, the secret sauce, floor area ratio, or FAR. Okay, think of it this way. Your plot of land is an orange. The FAR is what tells you how much juice, how much actual buildable space you can squeeze out of that orange. Now, if the government comes along and increases the FAR, it's like they're telling you, hey, you can now get double the juice from that exact same orange. What happens? Instantly, your orange becomes way more valuable.
And you can see exactly how this played out right here. Over a span of 30 years, in places like Haryana, the government just kept bumping up the FAR. And every single time they did, suddenly you could build more on your land. Maybe an extra floor, maybe a few more rooms. And just like that, overnight, the value of that plot would skyrocket. This was the hidden engine that made plots a seemingly unbeatable investment.
Okay, so if plots were this golden goose, what happened? Why isn't that old advice a slam dunk anymore? Let's fast forward to right now and see how the rules of the game have been completely rewritten.
Well, for starters, the whole money equation has done a complete 180. Today, land is incredibly scarce and unbelievably expensive. In most cities, the plot itself is the biggest financial mountain to climb. The cost to actually build a house on it? It's now just a small slice of the pie, maybe 20 to 25% of the land's total value. The fundamental economics have totally flipped on their head. And remember that secret growth engine we talked about? The FAR? Well, it's pretty much stalled out. Policies like Stilt plus 4 floors have pushed the FAR to its absolute breaking point. There is literally no more juice to squeeze from that orange. So the main thing that was causing those explosive price jumps for plots, it's gone.
Then there was the old argument about how long flats last. And yeah, early apartments with brick and plaster, they felt a bit temporary. But modern buildings, they're a different beast altogether. They use advanced methods like MIVN technology to create these solid concrete structures that can last for more than 125 years. It's like comparing a car from the 80s to a brand new Tesla. The technology is just worlds apart.
And then you've got the cash. I mean, actually buying the thing. For a plot, you need a mountain of cash ready to go, and you have to get the deal done in what, 30 to 60 days? That's insanely tough. But a flat, especially one that's under construction, it's the complete opposite. You can lock in today's price and then pay it off over the next 3 to 5 years with a bank loan that's easy to get.
And this brings up a huge practical question, right? Who's actually going to build the house? Back in our parents' day, you had retired fathers who had the time, the connections, the know-how to manage the entire construction process. Who does that now?
For today's busy professionals, the idea of dealing with contractors, the stress, the corruption, it's a total nightmare. That generation of home builders is simply gone.
Okay, so when you add all this up, the flipping costs, the new technology, the financing, and just our modern lifestyles, what's the winning play for someone buying a home today? What does the 2026 playbook look like?
You know, the one thing you always hear is, but with a plot, the land is mine. And that's a powerful feeling. But let's be real, what does that mean today? Once a plot is built out to its max, with 4 floors sold off to 4 different families, it has zero more flexibility than a flat. The potential, that juice, has been completely squeezed out. That my land argument is really an echo from a different era.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, the case for buying a flat, especially for today's generation, gets really, really strong. You get to freeze the price in a market that's only going up. The purchase itself is financially manageable. You get a built-in lifestyle with security, a gym, a pool, the whole shebang. And you completely avoid the massive headache of building it yourself. It just makes practical sense.
All right, let's just lay it all out. A final scorecard. Plot versus flat. When you look at the things that really matter to a buyer today, how easy is it to buy? How much money do I need up front? What kind of lifestyle am I getting? The flat comes out on top in almost every category. The game has well and truly changed.
In the end, this is about more than just a financial calculation. Your grandparents chose a plot because, for them, it was the absolute best way to build a future for their big, growing family. The question for you today is a little different. It's not just about building a house, it's about what kind of life you want to build. Is it one of convenience, community, and security? Or is it one that holds on to a tradition that maybe doesn't quite fit the world we're in anymore? That choice is all yours.